Hello everyone, Mary Rose here at Stitch Bliss Corner, and 2018 has begun. It reminded me of a quote from Anne of Green Gables, where Anne says, "Isn't it nice to think that tomorrow is a new day with no mistakes in it yet?" And so we have 2018, and I hope we don't have many mistakes amongst all of us for 2018. But anyway, it's nice that there's a fresh new year to start. Now, you may be admiring my scarf here, and this is part of a gift from someone who asked for a video about samplers, and I put one together which I did enjoy doing because I learned a lot, and it did educate me a lot about society and samplers being a reflection of society, which was the name of the video. And this person not only sent me this beautiful scarf, but she also sent me some things that she made herself. And I'm speaking of Lisa Kay, and I think Lisa Kay should get a public thank you from me for what she's done. And it's interesting because another quote from Anne of Green Gables, from Lucy Maud Montgomery, was the author of Anne of Green Gables. I've got a picture of her here. There she is. She's liked a bit of fancy work on her clothes too, by the looks of it. She might have been a stitcher. She looks like a stitcher. Well, another quote from Anne was, "Kindred spirits are not so scarce as I used to think. It's splendid to find out there are so many of them in the world." And I agree with that, because I think Lisa is a kindred spirit. So thank you so much, Lisa. Beautiful scarf, and there are 3 ways of wearing the scarf as well. There's the classic, the boho, and the Parisian. The classic: fold once, creating a triangle. Place point in front, then loop both ends around, letting one side hang longer. Then the boho one is fold once, creating a triangle. Use the small ends of the triangle to tie a loose knot close to one shoulder. And the Parisian: fold once, creating a triangle. Roll flat end halfway down, keeping long edge behind your neck. Loop both ends once, tying a small knot in front. That's the Parisian. At the end there. Lovely, lovely. Thank you so much. Beautiful colours and everything. Now, the other things that she sent, and I must say she's such an original wrapper, because this is what I discovered when I opened the package that came to me. And if you see, she's made an envelope, and then she's put a ribbon. She's put 2 slits in there. That's the opening. Then this came down like that, and she's got 2 slits in there. And this ribbon, sorry. I'll just show you. The ribbon was through there in a bow, beautiful bow, and look at that lovely little butterfly charm on there. I don't know if that's going to focus in or not. Gorgeous. So, I mean, that took my time up, just looking at the beautiful packaging and the lovely rose wrapping. Beautiful. And this lovely pincushion, which is just too lovely to put needles in anyway. So, with the vintage buttons. Look at that, and look at the stitching there that she's got, and edging, and then she's stitched all this herself, put it all together. I mean, I never in a million years, I couldn't do it. Well, I mean, I'm not saying I couldn't do it. Maybe I could, but it certainly wouldn't be anywhere near as lovely as this. It's got the little lace there. And as if that wasn't enough, look at the material there. Lovely. She put in a snag nabbit. I have seen these, and people talk about snag nabbits, and now I've got one. So I find that very exciting to have one of those. And she had that tucked in at the back here. And then she also made this for me. Isn't that just divine? Look at the stitching on there. And she dyed the cloth herself. I mean, this is just exquisite work. And the lovely, look at the buttons at the bottom there. Lovely. Imagine the life those buttons have had. And then it opens up. You can put something in there. And as soon as I saw this, I knew exactly what I was going to put in this beautiful bag. The peacocks there. This is what's going in that. I'll put it in there shortly. But I just want to read you something that is food for thought. And this is from an article in the New York Watchtower Bible and Tract Society of New York, Inc., 1967. Did man get here by evolution or by creation? And it's something that I've had many years. And here it goes. It's not very long. It says, that what is made requires a maker was interestingly demonstrated once by Sir Isaac Newton, the British scientist. Once he had a skillful mechanic make him a miniature replica of our solar system, with balls representing the planets, geared together by cogs and belts, so as to move in harmony when cranked. Later, Newton was visited by a scientist friend who did not believe in God. Their conversation is related in the Minnesota Technologue. One day, as Newton sat reading in his study with his mechanism on a large table near him, his friend stepped in. Scientist that he was, he recognized at a glance what was before him. Stepping up to it, he slowly turned the crank, and with undisguised admiration watched the heavenly bodies all move in their relative speed in their orbits. Standing off a few feet, he exclaimed, "My, what an exquisite thing this is! Who made it?" Without looking up from his book, Newton answered, "Nobody." Quickly turning to Newton, the man said, "Evidently you did not understand my question. I asked, who made this?" Looking up now, Newton solemnly assured him that nobody made it, but that the aggregation of matter, so much admired, had just happened to assume the form it was in. But the astonished friend replied with some heat, "You must think I am a fool. Of course somebody made it, and he is a genius, and I'd like to know who he is." Laying his book aside, Newton arose and laid a hand on his friend's shoulder. "This thing is but a puny imitation of a much grander system, whose laws you know, and I am not able to convince you that this mere toy is without a designer and maker. Yet you profess to believe that the great original from which the design is taken has come into being without either designer or maker. Now tell me, by what sort of reasoning do you reach such an incongruous conclusion?" Newton convinced his friend that whatever is made requires a maker. So I've always had that in my Bible, because I think it is food for thought. Because if someone said to you, you've got a television in your lounge, and someone said, "Oh, who made the television?" and you said, "Nobody did," they'd think you were nuts. And yet, the universe, with all its careful, intricate balances, is supposed to have just evolved, just like that. I mean, give me a break. That doesn't make any sense to me. But anyway, here we are with Lisa's beautiful present that is just so perfect for me. And here is the Bible going in to that bag. And how perfectly does that Bible fit into that bag? Well, Lisa, I can't thank you enough for what you've sent to me. I feel humble by it. And you will be receiving something from me that is very fitting. So I'll be sending that sometime this week, so keep an eye on your mailman. Don't chase after him though, just keep an eye on him. Okay, now, what are the next things I was going to say? Oh, well, excuse me a moment, I'm just looking at my list here. Oh, and thank you very much for your card and the kind words too, Lisa. Now, plans, sort of, for 2018. I don't really make them because, sorry about my glasses sliding down. My other glasses I usually wear, the spring has sprung, so they're worse than these now, so I have to rely on these at the moment. Yes, plans. Well, my biggest plan is to finish Scout before I do anything else, because I am obsessed with him and I have to get him done. It's as simple as that. And it's not as though it's a labour where I'm thinking, oh, I've got to get him done, he's blah blah. I just want to do him, and nothing else seems to want to get in. I mean, I managed to do the little holly fairy while I was still doing Scout. So if something comes along that's small, maybe I could fit it in here and there. But until Scout is done, I think he's just going to get all my attention. So these are projected plans after Scout has been done. So I will just show you Scout again, Scarlet Quince design. And the last time I showed him to you, I was saying that I didn't want to do his the signature until the end. But then I thought, no, I think better do it because, and I'm glad because it really is quite complex to do. So I have done the signature and worked up. So last time you saw it, I was about here on this side, like I'd done all this bit, but I was working up on this side. So there's the signature there, Charles, and M, and there's an M in there, and Russell, 1907, and that's like a cow's horn there. Let's see if I can. Charles, and there's the M in there, Russell. You can sort of see it a lot better in real life. It's a bit difficult on here. But anyway, so I've worked up now to here. And when I finish that little bit there, that will all go into half stitch. So now I'm going to come over onto this side and work up and put you all out of your misery and actually put the poor horse's head in. Because once I've done this part up to the horse's head, then there's not really a lot to go after that. It'll just be the sky in half stitches. So he is getting there. Oh, look at that. Yeah, there's just something about that picture. Just grabs you. Right, plans, yes. So I need to get him done. Then I've got the Robert Frost piece, Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening. And I'm getting the feeling that 2018 might be the year of the poets. Somehow or other, because the recurring theme seems to be coming back to poems and me picking works to go with those poems. Then there is also Elizabeth the First. I want to do a video about her because, well, it's her. She's always been of great interest to me. And I will be doing stitching to go with it. Now, I have actually stitched this particular piece before, and I gave it to someone. But before I gave it to someone, it was actually on my wall. And that's her there. So I'm going to be doing another one. And theoretically, I will keep it this time. So it is from New Stitches. And issue 16. And just as a little, what's the word? Not a sweetener, but just to get a promise of things to come. I just thought I would show you two pictures out of this book. Now this one is about the Spanish Armadas, Winston Graham actually, which of course is a big part of Elizabeth's history. But there are a couple of pictures in it that, well, they speak for themselves really. Showing Elizabeth with all her jewels on and her beautiful clothes. And it says here, Elizabeth I in the rainbow portrait, so called from its inscription meaning no rainbow without a sun, where fame is represented by eyes and ears on the fold of the cloak, and wisdom by the serpent on the sleeve. Magnificent, look at that. And the Beautiful embroidery. And you can see the eyes and ears on the sleeves there. Oops, and here, eyes. And then the serpent on the sleeve. I mean, can you imagine how many hours it took her every day to get dressed? Not that she did it, of course, but all the hours it would have taken to get her ready to go out into that man's world where her clothes did so much to give her status. I mean, she looks untouchable, doesn't she? And then it wouldn't be complete to show you this little bit about Elizabeth without showing you her favourite, her enduring favourite, Robert Dudley, Earl of Leicester. And here he is. Just look at that. The haughtiness in that face, the confidence. No wonder she found him so attractive. And once again, clothes were important for the men as well. Clothes maketh the man. No wonder he had hopes of being a king. She was too smart for that. So, that's just a little bit of what I would like to be doing as far as Elizabeth goes, because I would like to go through her a little bit like with Mary, Queen of Scots, to try and find the person behind the history a little bit. Just go through some books with you, and for anyone who's interested anyway, because there is a little bit of stitching there involved. And I'm going to, as I did with Henry, you know how I put his signature underneath him, I'm going to couch Elizabeth's signature underneath her picture when I've finished doing it. Now, was there anything else I had to say to you? I don't think so. This was just an update, and just to... I'd just like to say hello to Jay of Mortuary Stitches. I hope Jay has a much better 2018 and that everything goes well for her. And then the EDS warrior, Kerry. She's had a lot of fatigue problems lately, and I hope that she gets a bit more of her mojo back. I think she seems to be doing that now. So, and she's had a few finishes. So, and she's working on the, you know, the cat with the flame from the Haid, but it's a mini Haid, and the cat looks very much like one of her favourite cats. So she's working on that, and she's getting a lot of progress with it. So that's excellent. All right, well, I suppose I'm starting to waffle now. That's what they say. So I'd like to wish everyone a very happy and healthy and blessed New Year. I'm looking forward to seeing all of your progress for those who do Flosstube. And I shall catch up with you once I've got a little bit further with Scout. I'm just keep on keeping on with him. And as soon as I get... to the sky, you know, just up the horse's head, I'll certainly be showing you that. And I shall catch you a little bit later in 2018. Bye for now.